Caseus. Clone Wars. Part 2. The Pirates of Valcor. Chapter 5. Daros fled to the doorway, only to be cut off by Kantu's monstrous form.
You foolish boy. Did you forget who your captain is?
Kantu lunged at the boy, striking his fist toward his target. Daros threw himself to the ground and crawled beneath the captain's desk, trying to find anything to defend himself with. The desk was lifted by Kantu, who threw it aside, smashing it against the wall like it was a child's toy. Splinters of wood and metal scattered across the room as Daros stumbled, trying to reach the door. He was met with the captain's massive fist directly into his stomach. Daros buckled over, unable to breathe as Kantu lifted him by his hair.
You did this to yourself, Daros. Had you simply done your job, you could have been spared this pain.
Kantu held Daros up at eye level, glaring into his eyes.
Once I've dealt with you, I'll be sure to let the Jedi know just how you screamed before you perished.
Daros looked at the captain and spat into his orange eye. Kantu recoiled for a moment and snarled like a wild Acklay as he opened his jaws wide and prepared to chomp down on his helpless victim. Before that could happen, a blaster bolt sizzled right onto his shoulder. Kantu screeched and quickly turned around to see Caseus pointing a smoking blaster and Corbyn right beside. Drop him! Now!
I was wondering when you two would show yourselves. If you want the boy, come and claim him.
Kantu reached above his head and shattered the lights. Corbyn and Caseus looked around wildly in the dark, but were knocked aside by Kantu, who charged through them and ran through the door with Daros in his clutches. Caseus and Corbyn fumbled for a moment before Caseus turned on the light attachment on the blaster and looked around. We need to go after him.
Caseus, look.
Corbyn pointed to the shattered desk. In the debris were their lightsabers.
A little luck at last.
Grabbing their weapons, they ran through the doorway just as the lights in the corridors went out. He shut off the lights. We have to move quick. Watch out for the other pirates. They can't be far. Using the light from their blades to guide them, Caseus and Corbyn ran through the tunnels. As they rounded the corridors, they came face to face with a group of the pirates, who quickly pulled their blasters and fired at them. The two Padawans deflected the blasts, with several of the shots returning to strike the ones who fired. One of the pirates retrieved something from his pocket and threw it at the ground. A dark cloud of red smoke filled the air. Caseus couldn't see the pirates, but he could feel them all around.
Where are they?
Concentrate! He could hear soft laughter from the pirates as they began to encircle them. Caseus closed his eyes. Reacting quickly, he deflected a shot that came through the smoke. More blaster fire came as Corbyn and Caseus stood back to back, deflecting the shots. It was just like the training remotes back at the temple. They needed to rely on instinct. Suddenly, one of the pirates lunged from the smoke, tackling Caseus to the ground. Corbyn quickly turned and sliced through the pirate's back with a swift stroke before he was also tackled. The pirates now emerged from the smoke one after another, leaping onto the Padawans, gripping them with sharp, powerful claws and sinking their teeth into them. The pain was intense. Caseus then thought back to Master Drollic's teachings. Gathering his strength, he let out a shockwave of force energy that sent the pirates flying into the walls of the corridor. Corbyn cut down two more pirates and held his blade out at the others, who then scattered in different directions. Caseus felt a warm pool forming on his shoulder. One of them had sunk their teeth directly into his shoulder.
Are you all right?
Not for long if we don't stop the captain. Where could he have gone?
Wait, the cargo hold.
Are you sure?
No, but it's all I can think of.
Fine. Hurry. Corbyn led the way with Caseus following close behind. As they ran through the halls, they saw one of Daros' shoes on the ground. I think you're right. He's taking him to the cargo hold.
Good. We can corner him there.
A cornered beast is still a dangerous beast. Be careful.
Right. He was a real sweetheart before, wasn't he?
They soon reached the cargo bay door. It was locked. Cut through. Sticking their blades through the door, the two cut in a circular motion, making a large hole. As they stepped in, they saw no Kantu, just a terrified Daros in the center of the room. Daros! Caseus ran to the boy.
Caseus, look out!
Caseus looked up as Kantu dropped from the ceiling and landed on top of him, knocking the saber from his hand. Caseus fought for his life, punching and kicking as Cantu savagely beat him with his massive fists. Corbyn ran over and raised his blade, but Cantu quickly threw Caseus into him, knocking them both down with a painful thud. As they stood, Cantu was holding Daros by the throat. His hand was hovering over a button on the wall.
Lay down your sword, Jedi, or I'll have us all sucked into the vacuum.
The ship was still in light speed. If they were sucked out, there would be pieces of all four of them scattered throughout hut space.
Drop it. Now.
Caseus was breathing heavily, holding his arm as Corbyn looked down at his lightsaber.
Okay.
Corbyn dropped his saber, which rolled over to Cantu's feet. Smirking, he crushed the weapon, sending sparks flying out in different directions and cracked shards of kyber along the floor. Corbyn clenched his fists in anger.
Now, here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to rip out this boy's eyes. Then, you two are going back into your cell. Though I can't say you'll be fully intact.
Daros looked at Caseus with fear in his eyes, tears streaming down his cheeks.
You see, Daros, the Jedi's ultimate weakness is their compassion. It gets them into problems that so easily could have been avoided if they had just stayed in their place.
Caseus looked at his saber on the ground and back to Cantu. He had an idea. A very risky idea. And he didn't know if it would work.
Now, boy, which eye first?
Caseus quickly held out his hand and activated his blade from afar, pulling his weapon upwards with the force, slicing through two of Cantu's arms, freeing Daros. Cantu screamed and quickly smashed the button as the airlock opened, sucking out the cargo instantly. Corbyn grabbed onto the door and held onto Caseus, who pulled Daros towards him. But Cantu, clutching onto the floor with one arm, grabbed Daros' foot with the other. Caseus held on as the force of the air being sucked out strained him. Cantu screeched and dug his claws into Daros' leg. Corbyn looked to his right and saw one of the cargo boxes was latched down.
Corbyn! The crate!
Caseus pulled harshly, freeing Daros from the captain's clutches, leaving deep claw marks in his leg. Quickly, Corbyn kicked the latch and the box was free and sent flying into Cantu's face, knocking him out into the vacuum of space, where his body was quickly torn to shreds from the force of hyperspace. Caseus looked at the switch on the wall and, using his mind, shut it off as the airlock sealed once more. All three of them collapsed to the floor in pain. Caseus breathed heavily and held Daros tightly, who was in a state of shock.
Can you stand, Caseus?
Yeah. Let's get to the controls and exit lightspeed. We can contact our ship from there. I'll take Daros. Take my lightsaber and be on guard for any more pirates. Caseus stood to his feet, holding Daros in his arms, as they made their way back through the corridors. There were no more pirates to be seen. More than likely, they fled to their rooms when the airlock was activated. They reached the control room, where one of the pirates was sitting.
What do you want now?
His eyes widened as he saw the two Jedi. Corbyn grabbed him by the throat and held Caseus' saber to his face.
Get out now.
The pirate nodded quickly and ran from the control room and out into the corridors. Caseus shut the doors and locked them, barricading it with a heavy piece of equipment. Corbyn sat at the controls and took the ship out of lightspeed. With luck, they hadn't reached Kessel yet. Right now, they were floating in open space. Caseus gently set Daros down and looked at his leg. His skin had been cut deep. He needed medical attention soon. Corbyn, send out a distress signal to the ship. I'll take care of Daros. Corbyn turned to the communications relay and began entering the cruiser's nav signal.
Come in, Kaladin. This is Commander Roth of the Jedi Order. We need immediate extraction. I'm sending our coordinates. This is an emergency. Do you copy?
Affirmative, Commander. We've received your coordinates. Hang tight. We'll be there as soon as we can.
Thank you. Hurry.
Corbyn went back to the controls and initiated a lockdown, sealing all doors on the vessel.
We just need to stay here until they arrive.
Caseus nodded and took a piece of cloth from his tunic and wrapped it around Daros' leg. That should stop the bleeding for a while. We're gonna get you out of here, Daros. Okay? Daros looked at Caseus and nodded weakly. Caseus stood and walked to a chair across from Corbyn and sat. His left arm was completely numb. His nose trickled blood onto his tunic, and he could feel that at least a couple of his ribs were broken.
Are you going to be okay?
It's not me I'm worried about. Corbyn looked over at Daros.
Kid's got spirit. I'll give him that. You really pulled through back there, Caseus. Nice job. Why don't you close your eyes and try to rest a bit? I'll let you know if anything happens.
Caseus looked at Corbyn and nodded, closing his eyes and slowly drifting off. Corbyn looked out the viewport and sighed. Caseus was soon awoken by Corbyn shaking him.
Wake up, they're here.
Caseus opened his eyes and saw the Caledon approaching. The tractor beam activated as they were slowly pulled towards the ship. Soon they were inside the hangar. Caseus could see several of the 303rd soldiers lined up, weapons ready. They soon boarded the ship. From inside the control room, Caseus heard the clones barking orders at the captured pirates. Corbyn then deactivated the lockdown, and the clones soon arrived to their position.
Are you alright, Commander? You look a bit worse for wear.
I'm fine, Lieutenant. Get this boy to the medical bay. Stat.
Affirmative.
Daros looked at the clone as he began to pass out.
You're gonna be alright, kid. Stay with me, okay?
The lieutenant took Daros out of the pirate ship and off to the medical bay, as Caseus and Corbyn walked out into the hangar. R3 rolled over to Caseus, bumping his leg. Ow! Easy, bud. I'm all right. Just a little unexpected detour.
It looks to me like it was a little more than that.
Caseus smiled as he saw Master Takai walking over. Hey, Master. So much for a simple relief run, huh? Master Takai shook her head softly.
I really can't leave you alone for a few days without you getting into some sort of trouble, can I?
Caseus chuckled and placed his hand on R3. I'll be okay, Master. I just need to rest.
You can rest when the doctors have seen you.
Yes, Master. Caseus and R3 walked to the medical bay, where the doctors looked him over and attended to him. After a long soak in the Bacta tank, Caseus went into his quarters and slept like a rock. He was awoken a few hours later by a knocking at his door. Come in. Master Takai entered and sat down.
How are you feeling?
Better. Is Daros okay?
The boy's fine. He was in and out for a little bit, but he's going to make a full recovery. When we reach Coruscant, the city authorities will help him to find a new home. As for how you got into this mess, Corbyn told me about what happened.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think we were gonna make it out of that one. It's a good thing Corbyn was there.
Caseus, did Corbyn tell you why he was a part of your mission?
Yeah, he said he spoke to Master Terran and got the go-ahead to accompany me.
I see.
Where is Corbyn anyway?
Corbyn is currently on his way back to his master, where he should have been this whole time.
What?
Corbyn didn't get permission from his master. He snuck out and coerced his way into the supply run. Master Terran was furious when he found out.
But, no, why would he do that?
Surely you must have noticed that Corbyn has changed since the war began. According to him, he couldn't handle the stress of the constant demands of war. So he left his master to find you.
So, he abandoned his troops and his master?
I'm afraid so.
What's gonna happen to him?
I don't know, Caseus. Given the circumstances, they may be a bit more lenient. But he will face consequences for desertion.
Caseus sighed. He told me on the ship that this war was killing him. Corbyn's a good person, Master. I think the constant fighting was just getting too much for him.
I understand, Caseus. And I empathize with him. We are all tired. But he has responsibilities that he cannot hide from. None of us can. We are servants of the Republic, and right now, the Republic needs us to be strong and push on. Corbyn needs to realize that.
Caseus nodded and looked down.
You should get some more rest, Caseus. You went through a lot today.
Yes, Master. Master Takai got up and walked to the door. Master.
Yes, Caseus.
Do you think Corbyn will be okay?
I hope so, Caseus. He's a brave Jedi. As are you. Just be sure to check in on him every now and again. You really are his closest friend.
Caseus nodded as Master Takai left his quarters. A few days passed, and Caseus found himself back home on Coruscant for a short time. Now that Herdessa was liberated, and the business with the pirates was taken care of, he was happy to be back. Sitting in silence on top of the temple, Caseus thought about Corbyn.
I thought I'd find you up here.
Serra sat beside him.
We missed you at dinner.
I wasn't really hungry. Not for temple food, at least.
I heard about Corbyn. Do you think he'll be alright?
Hard to say. He's strong, but everyone has their breaking point. And this war is testing his.
And what about you?
What do you mean?
How are you holding up?
I mean, it's tough, but I'm determined to make it through. As long as I have someone there by my side. Caseus smiled and put his hand onto Serra's.
You watch my back and I watch yours?
That's the idea. Caseus looked into Serra's eyes and rested his forehead on hers, gently touching her cheek. I always look forward to these little breaks.
Me too.
Caseus held Serra in his arms and felt all his problems melt away, at least for a short time.